Hi, this is Group 9 with Software Engineering. We're presenting our project Divvy, a mobile application designed to simplify group expense management. It tackles the common challenge of splitting bills fairly, whether among roommates, friends, couples, or temporary groups, by tracking payments and debts and automating expense calculations. My name is Abdul Malik Mohammed.
All right, my name is Summer Hope.
And my name is Min.
Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to sign up a new user by clicking the sign up button. And you give your user a first name, last name, email address, phone number, and then come up with a password and confirm your password. And click the orange sign up button. All right, so you successfully created a Divvy account. So now you have to go to the login page and put in your login credentials, your email, and your new password. Log in. All right, so first thing that you're going to do is you're going to want to create, this is the home page, and you're going to want to create a manage groups. Go to manage groups to create a new expense group. All right, and then you could just like give your group a title. All right, and then you can add associates to your new expense group by searching for them and just click the add or the person's name. You can add however many you would like. Now, after you're done adding them, just click Save Group, and then you should see your group at the bottom. All right, now go back to the home page. All right. Now, you're going to want to create an expense for your group. So if you go to the create expense portion, all right, now you click the group that you have. All right, so now you want to create a new expense for like going out to dinner or whatever it's for. And you give your expense the title, the amount of the expense, and you could give it a description if you want to. So last night's feast, and then you have to come up with a way to split the expense. So you could split by percentage, dollar amount, or you could just split it evenly. All right, so we're splitting it evenly. Now create expense. All right. All right, now go to manage expenses at the bottom. Yeah. And then now you can see your new expense that has been created. And currently it's pending because not everybody has accepted it yet. So now you could accept the expense. All right. All right, now your status says accepted. All right, and then you see this right here on this dashboard. You haven't paid for it, but you have accepted your expense portion for $120. And this $120 is out of a $600 bill. And then now, if you want to pay for it, you could go to payment settings. All right. And currently, right now, we don't have this set up, but this is normally what it would look like. It's got the cards that you've added, and then as well as like any payments, any recent payments that you paid towards any other expense. Now, if you go back to the home,
So we actually do have the notifications set up. It would just take for us to make another user, and we can go ahead and actually show that functionality right about now. Before we do, I want to go into some of the major UI components on our front end. As you saw before, this card right here that shows our latest expense, it wasn't there before, but If you do click on it, it does take you to the expense that it shows. If we create another expense, it'll also show up that expense. We'll see that once we make another user. Like she said, you can mark it as paid and it'll show up as paid on the front end as well. And it'll, you've paid your portion for it. We have here the total amount of all expenses that you are a part of, as well as your contribution towards those expenses. So we've only created one right now, but once we create another one to show the notification functionality, you'll see that your contribution actually increases. Um, I'm going to show the profile settings. So as you see here, it shows the name of the user. This is just an placeholder image for the user to be able to change their image. The email of the user shows up, their phone number, and their password is, of course, hidden for security reasons. Um, that's the major components of our UI. What I'm going to do now is I'll log out. I'll create another test user so that we can we can show what it looks like when you create an expense, what kind of notification the user receives. Uh, I'll just call it test user two. So new user. First, what we'll do is we'll create a group with the previous user that we created. And with this group, what we'll be able to do is we're able to create expense. Or just for the sake of it, we'll also show off being able to split the percentages. And of course, now that expense has shown up, however, of course, since this is the user that created, this user gets no notification for it. But if we go back, log back out, test user, then first you'll see that it's been added to this to the card holder, which shows the user their last three expenses, shows them the group of it, shows them the amount, and shows them the date that the expense came through, as well as the status. The total of all of their expenses together has been tallied, and it now shows up here, as well as their contributions since they've been added to an expense. And on top of that, under notifications, it's going to let them know you've been added to this expense for $300. And if they want to view that information, they can click here, look at the information. Does have to load. What we'll do is we'll go back so that we can load it properly. But as all this, take them back. They click on it, take them there. It works out pretty well for that. That's our main UI and our navigation.
Such as the some of the technical highlights. Our app uses React Native for the front end. For the back end, we use Node.js and Express, and MySQL for the tables, for the database information storage and like management. Some of the challenges that we face is making the back end work smoothly. We had to like revamp the back end a few times. We also had some trouble making the payment actually works because we don't have it like fully connected by now. So the payment settings doesn't actually pay, but just
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
so
had
it's
a
not
couple
working.
of issues in general when it came to connecting the front end with the back end. Of course, as we were trying to develop, um, we had to maintain a specific schema. But of course, that schema would change as we went from stage to stage. As we were implementing new features, we realized we actually needed a new table for this, a new table for that, for it all to work properly. At the end of the day, we were able to get most of our functionality together with the schema that we have right now and using most of the tables that were described in our first database tables. And, in the future, we would hope to make it so that users can actually pay through the app. But even that was its own challenge because having to decide between whether they'll be provided their own card, virtual card through Stripe, or if they should just make payments to the app to each other and connect their bank accounts, because there's, of course, a lot of regulations around that, a lot of regulations about storing credit card information in software. But, we learn and we would hope to surmount those obstacles in the future.